Ford Tourneo Custom PHEV 2021 Long-Term Review. But before we start, please support us by pressing the like and subscribe buttons, so that we can continue to provide information about car and motorcycle news. Also turn on the bell button to get the latest updates. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you. Why we ran it. To find out if plug-in hybrid power and 8 seats give Ford's iconic van greater lifestyle appeal. An 8-seat plug-in range extender looks handy on paper. What was the cold reality of using it for work, rest and play? November 17, 2021. Take a quick flick through the Ford Tourneo's marketing spiel and you'll see almost as many outdoorsy types as you will tradespeople. Surfing, camping, rock climbing, mountain biking. This van-based people carrier can do it all, apparently. Or at the very least get you to the beach/campsite/cliff/trail. After several months of doing exactly that, I'm inclined to agree. As a test of can we cope with life on 4 wheels? Living with the Tourneo has been a lot of fun. My partner and I have driven it all over the country, from the south coast of England all the way to Scotland to tackle the North Coast 500. Had there not been a pandemic, it would almost certainly have taken us onto the continent over the summer. It carried wetsuits, tents, bikes, and all manner of other gear, while the 8 seats meant we could bring mates along, too, without having to bury them in luggage. During the summer, the way the passenger seats fold flat meant being able to turn the rear cabin into an impromptu camp bed and sleep on board, something we also tried in a much colder February and regretted. While the seats are mighty heavy, the tool-free removal process made it easy enough to pull out the rear middle seat and create room to slide in 2 bike frames. The expansive rear door even became a shelter in wet weather and a changing area between activities. Best of all, trips like these don't require lots of planning and packing. Ford has found so many clever storage spaces and cubbies that you can crack on without needing to think where every little thing must go. It was great to be able to run on electricity alone for shorter journeys, where the Ford was quiet, smooth, and responsive, if not to the level of even an entry-level EV. It's still essentially a minibus. After all, the contrast of silent running with the van's sizable dimensions usually guaranteed attention, too, particularly from VW campervan owners, whom I seem to bump into with alarming frequency over the summer holidays. While I was always conscious of the Tourneo's weight and made an effort to stay smooth through corners and around roundabouts to avoid putting the tires under extra load, it was refreshingly easy to drive. The steering felt typically Ford-like, not too heavy and largely accurate, and it rode well over most surfaces. It was never going to rival a Focus for driver appeal, but it never felt like a chore to drive, either. The high driving position was on a par with what you'd expect from a large SUV, and while you sat more upright here, the cabin was still surprisingly car-like. Fit and finish was up to Ford's usual standard, and the infotainment was straightforward to use. It also played nicely with my smartphone. I'm sold on the lifestyle, then, but less so on the range extender powertrain. Sadly, my day-to-day application just wasn't conducive to true eco-friendly driving. Ford's 1.0-liter EcoBoost petrol engine might be a slam dunk for small cars like the Fiesta and Focus, but here it's paired with more than 2 tons of van, and even then it doesn't drive the front axle but instead solely charges the battery. Fuel economy rarely impressed during our time with it, but longer journeys on a drained battery could cause the MPG figure to plummet, meaning far more frequent trips to the petrol station. Even moderate gradients forced it to work over time, with the fan needing to cool it long after I'd finished my journey. Trying to stay on F-power proved tricky away from home, too. The limited maximum charging rate meant at least a 2.5-hour wait at a public charger, which rarely seemed worth it for a paltry 30 miles, assuming the weather was good. Colder days reduced the range, as did a full contingent of passengers or luggage. By comparison, a fully electric 9-seater like the Vauxhall Vivaro E-Life might only manage 150 miles on a charge, but it can reach 80% charge in around half an hour on a 100 kilowatts rapid charger. I'd rather make more frequent stops if it meant lower emissions. Now that the government has changed what does and doesn't qualify for the plug-in van grant, the Tourneo no longer gets any form of discount, which prompts the question, why would you pay a premium for one over the equivalent Eco-Blue diesel? In my view, there's only a small market of people for whom 30 miles of range is fine, and I'm not in it. Diesel may be vilified now, but it's still the most viable option when it comes to driving large, heavy vehicles over long distances.
Thanks for watching.
Drop a like, leave a comment,
And don't forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.